Yo, iOS 18 is going to be the biggest update that we have had in forever. So many cool things are coming, even if Tim Cook didn't want to give them to you. And don't just take my word for it. Internally, Apple is referring to this update as ambitious and compelling. So whatever's coming, they must be pretty proud of it. Here's our top 5 features that we think you should be excited about. Starting off with number 5, that would be a redesign. We've had a couple minor adjustments here and there to design elements, UI elements in iOS throughout the last few years, but we haven't had a major complete redesign since iOS 7. Next year, 2024, the year of our Lord, will mark about 10 years since we've seen a redesign, so we're due anyway. This comes from the Scranton Strangler himself, Mark Gurman, who believes a redesign is on the way. But also, something that absolutely screams redesign to me would be the other major thing that is happening for Apple next year. In case you forgot, early next year, we are getting Vision Pro. And if we look back at the announcement, the UI has a very specific feel and vibe to it. It feels lighter, airier. Wow, I hate myself for saying it that way. I feel like if we are going to get a complete redesign, it's not going to be necessarily like complete visual change. It might be something closer to what we're seeing here with the Vision Pro UI. It still looks like iOS, but like someone sprinkled a little lemon zest on it. Okay, why do you even watch this show? Anyway, moving on to number 4, this is a recent one, just announced a few days ago. We actually covered this entirely in the last episode, and that is RCS support. In case somehow you missed the announcement by Apple on places like 9to5Mac and follow-up videos from pretty much every tech creator on YouTube, the iPhone is finally getting RCS messaging. That would be Rich Communication Services. RCS is really the next evolution of standard text messaging, replacing things like SMS and MMS. That stuff is old and decrepit, and it's time to move on. RCS is us moving on. Android has been using it for a while to give Android users a similar feel to that you would get with iMessage. RCS is super powerful, giving users the ability to do things like share high-quality, high-resolution photos and videos. Finally, something that was impossible with MMS. It gives users the ability to know when someone is typing, also read receipts, delivered receipts, that sort of thing, send messages over mobile data and Wi-Fi, rename, edit, or remove yourself from group chat. It's a whole thing. And that's all well and good for Android users, Android to Android communication. But when an Android phone tries to communicate with an iPhone, I mean, you know how that goes. Thanks to Google, the maker of Android themselves, and other OEMs like Samsung pressuring entities like the EU, we're going to get RCS support within the iPhone. iMessage will still be iMessage. You'll still have blue bubbles for iMessage specifically. RCS will still have green bubbles. Basically, the casual iPhone user will have no idea that this change happened behind the scenes, but if you know, you know, communication interoperability is going to be much better. Number 3, and this is my favorite feature of all, money. Get it? Because I'm going to do the sponsor now. We'll be right back after this. The holiday season, time for new phones. New, fragile, expensive phones. That's why today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Rhino Shield and their lovely new iPhone 15 cases. Rhino Shield is renowned for their highly durable, customizable iPhone cases, and they've made some awesome improvements just in time for Black Friday. Like on the Rhino Shield Clear Case, 23% thinner to match the lighter iPhone 15 Pro with some great protection. And it comes with a full lifetime warranty if the case ever yellows. How about the Solid Suit case? This case has rounded edges and a curved back for the best grip yet in 9 new lovely colors. And Rhino Shield even improved Apple's own tech, making their MagSafe compatible cases 2 times stronger than Apple's own accessories. And as a bonus, Rhino Shield is committed to sustainability. Their cases are easily recycled because they're made of their own proprietary monomaterial versus other cases which are made of blended plastic. So do not wait! The Black Friday sale ends on the 28th, so now's your chance to get up to 55% off. Click our special link in the description to get your own Rhino Shield swag today. And of course, a huge thanks to Rhino Shield for sponsoring this episode of Alright, back to business with the real number 3, which is sideloading. If iOS 18 didn't already feel like a major departure from what Apple typically does with them supporting something like RCS, This is insanity. Perhaps the biggest change to iOS since they introduced the App Store? Maybe? And yeah, no, we are still talking about iOS 18 here. You didn't accidentally click on a non-Apple video. We are talking about iOS 18 with RCS and sideloading in the same conversation. So, thanks to the EU, once again, we're seeing Apple make even more crazy changes to the walled garden full of naked Tim Cook statues peeing into a fountain. And that would be adding the ability to sideload other apps that may not be directly in the App Store, or sideload other app stores entirely onto your iPhone. Yep, nope, I ain't touching that. I'm not getting anywhere near that. No way, no how. Does not sound fun for me, but it might sound fun for you. If it sounds fun for you, you should go touch grass, man. Here's the interesting part about this. We don't have full confirmation that this is going to be a staple in iOS 18, that it's going to ship worldwide. At least at first, sideloading may be specific to iPhones in the EU. That's due to laws being passed by the government requiring gatekeepers like Apple to open the doors to whatever other bullshit people want to put on their phones. In fact, we may start to see sideloading being implemented before the release of iOS 18 next year. You might not even have to wait that long. There's evidence that sideloading could start to trickle in as part of iOS as early as iOS 17.2, which lands next month. I, of course, as you know, completely disagree with this. I hate that Apple's being forced to do any of this. This is an iPhone, hardware that, yes, you own, especially if you paid full price for it, but the software on this device is not yours. And so just because you own the device doesn't mean you should be able to do whatever the hell you want. I don't think that's the case. Apple built the house, you should pay the rent. Coming in at a hot number 2, Doso, is AI, artificial intelligence, honey. Wait, you yell at Jern. iOS already has Siri. No, my sweet, sweet summer child. Siri is... No, she's dumb. She big stupid. She real big dumb stupid head. In a recent Power On newsletter by Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, the guy who looks like he's still using Snapchat, but he's too old to be using Snapchat, but he's still kind of on there anyway, one of those guys, we have word that Apple is very, very intent on catching up to the likes of Google and OpenAI with all of their impressive and incredible leaps forward with AI-powered assistants and whatnot. Now, if you've seen my stupid face before, then you already know how I feel about this, how I feel about AI in general, which is, I'm deathly afraid, and it's going to kill us all. I kid. Not really. I'm not kidding at all. Please help me. But something that is very important for Apple to do here is add guardrails to this bad boy. AI is a big old beast, and what they do with it, with things like personal voice, giving it a very specific use case and not letting it just be the Wild West in there, this is how they should use AI. If they can do more of this AI in a more controlled environment with guardrails to protect the users, I'm down for this. But listen, it's a very fine line. All right, it's got to be pretty good, and it also cannot kill me. I think those are very reasonable things to follow, Tim. And finally, the one you've all been waiting for, our main event. This is our number 1, our list. We make the rules, you don't. If you want to put a different number 1 on your list, you make your own list and make your own YouTube video and you put it out, but you're watching mine, so here's my number 1. And that is bug fixes. Yeah, no, I mean it. I know, I get it. It's a kind of a boring answer, right? But hear me out, dog. I am a firm believer that ever since iOS 7 was released, we have just been every year stacking bugs on top of each other. We just got bodies of bugs. We just have bug bodies stacked up on top of each other. It's like a bug mountain. I have made entire videos about this, about how poor the quality control of Apple's software has been for like years now. They make so many different versions of so many different softwares for so many different devices that it has gotten away from them to a substantial point. It is a problem. To the point where these aren't just like cute bugs, right, that just exist sometimes. These bugs have been around for so long that they are no longer bugs. It's just broken. And I have been trying to say that while I love new features, I'd rather the stuff just works. That they handle quality control better behind the scenes. That they take a step back, take a pause or so, or two, or three, or all the pauses for many years until all of this is fixed. And finally, maybe this time, Apple is starting to take stability seriously. In fact, with iOS 18, they even completely paused development on newer features and cool stuff to solely focus on squashing and fixing bugs. That is music to a Jern's ears. I am an iPhone person for a reason. I just want it to work, man. I don't want to deal with all the bugs and all the nonsense. I just want my phone to do phone stuff and work all the time. But guess who's been on my side of the bed? Yep, the answer to that terrible question is Tim Cook. Tim Cook has been pooping into my bed sheets every time iMessage crashes or the camera crashes, the dynamic island goes sideways, or whatever other atrocity graces the display of my iPhone, and I'm tired of the laundry, Tim. I am so tired. So yeah, anyway, bug fixes is number 1 on our list. And if you'd like a refund for your view, or if you're disappointed and want your money back, well then here's a neat little dance to make it up to you. It goes a little something like this. I hope now you are happy with the time spent on this video. Thank you, and come again.